All right, welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. As always, if you cannot or if you have any audio issues, just let me know. I just want to make sure I'm not talking to myself. But as you can see by the title of this video, we got an update to I guess, like the terms of service, customer relations, whatever you want to call it, via Robinhood today. And there are few things I want to point out. For those of you who have been following me, especially some of my newer subscribers, or you're probably subscribed to my channel because of my reports and videos and stuff like that I wrote on shorts. And because shorting is a very fundamental part of the market here, that I think everyone should understand how shorts work. And they geared most of the terminology toward the stock market, but you have to understand the crypto market does not have a lot of regulation, right? So when you say that this is not happening in the crypto market, I find it very hard to believe, especially when you have companies like Robinhood who hold the majority of Dogecoin and stuff like and other cryptos as well, obviously. But it's very important to kind of understand how this works, how they're making money. And if you ever had any questions about some of the things that I've written or some of the articles that I posted on Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, and stuff like that, hopefully we can clarify that tonight, because you're going to see this from straight from the source, right? Not from me. So let's get into it, and I'll close out with some announcements. So let's get into it. Let me know. Can you guys hear me? I just want to make sure I'm not crazy. Can you hear me? I'm going to put it in the chat, and then I'm going to jump right into this article. We're going to start right here, and then we're going to go to the lending program. But what's going on? Hello, how are you? I see you guys are upset about the shorts. Yeah, you have to understand. If you don't understand shorts, you're going to be very, very upset in the market. I think it's fundamental. So, okay, everybody can hear me. So let's start here. So this is pretty much on the update. If you have a Robinhood account, check your email. I got my notification probably like around 3 p.m. today, 3 p.m. Eastern time. So check your email, and you should have access to all of this anyway. But I typically read these types of changes, these types of updates. So if you look here, you'll see, how else does your firm make money? What conflicts of interest do you have? And the biggest thing here is payment for order flow. And people ask me about what do I mean by payment for order flow? And that's why I talk about companies like Moomoo and stuff like that who don't use payment for order flow. So I'll read here, and then I'll explain what it is. So Robinhood earns revenue from your trade activity and therefore has a monetary incentive for you to trade more. Specifically, we earn revenue from a third-party market centers to which we route customer orders, so that we have an incentive to route orders to market centers that pay or rebate us for such orders, subject to our best execution requirements. So what does that mean? A market maker is pretty much when you have these institutions that wholesale technically stocks. They own the majority of all stocks. It's like a basket of stocks. They own the majority of everything. So technically speaking, when you buy stocks, stuff like that on these platforms, your order is not directly reporting to the NASDAQ. There's a gap, actually. That's a whole nother rabbit hole of manipulation there. But you technically are buying your stocks from a institution who already owns the stock, and they kind of wholesale it, and they execute it a lot faster, so that it's not going to like the NASDAQ or the Dow Jones and stuff like that, so that it's executed a lot faster, and it's in the name of speed and convenience for the consumer. So they technically get a kickback for going through these institutions that pay them their stocks versus going directly to the exchange, right? So this is an incentive. Now, on the flip side of that, I won't get into it in this video, but it causes issues because you have these institutions who are able to see your orders and take positions prior to reporting it to the exchanges. But again, that's a whole other issue. But when you see payment for order flow, they have an incentive for you to trade more. So every time you buy and sell, this is why in my videos I say that they make money on volume. Every time you buy and sell, they get paid. So when you see things like the volume dropping, or like we're in a recession, bear market, massive fear, people are buying less crypto, buying less stocks and stuff like that, their revenue goes down. This is why you see these incentives like, oh my God, stake your crypto here. We're gonna boost ratings. The stock lending program is coming out. These are all efforts to generate additional revenue, because revenue has gone down dramatically because of the transactional value. But this is just one of the issues here. We're going to go a little deeper into their new program here, because there's several things on here, and I'll probably have to make a 2-hour video, but we're going to go right here. For those of you who have access to this, it's going to be under examples of revenue Robinhood receives, and you click on fully paid securities lending program. And this is going to go into about stock lending. So, and it says who's eligible for stock lending. And if you guys remember the ad that they sent out, right? It says that most exchanges require you to have like, I think it was like $200,000 or something like that in value before you're able to participate in lending programs. And I said that was not true. It's not true. Most exchanges, when you sign up, you're automatically enrolled in the lending programs, and you have to kind of search for it to kind of turn it off. It is very lucrative for the exchange to have everybody lending out their assets. This is what the staking platform is. So, and the thing about it is, the reason you're not getting emails like this about like your Bitcoin, your Dogecoin and stuff like that is because by law, they don't have to be as transparent. They're legally obligated to send these types of notices for like the stocks and stuff like that. But this gives you an idea of the manipulation and the ability of which they're scaling your coins here or in your stocks. So who's eligible? This right here is the funniest part right here. It says at least $5,000 in total account value, or at least $25,000 in reported income. You would think that, oh, okay, well, shorting and lending out your crypto, very risky business. They're trying to do something to kind of protect people. And then you read the last one. It says, or any trading experience other than none. So if you made one trade yesterday, you made one. Matter of fact, this morning, you made one trade this morning. You now qualify for stock lending. So this is like the area of the bar to entry here, which is basically non-existent. You can get in on this, just by simply having a pulse. So this is why I said that it was not true, like the eligibility. And this isn't a knock on Robinhood. This is pretty standard going across the board. But it just lets you know that anybody can participate in this. And it tells you that you know what type stocks, ETFs and stuff like that. Turn on stock lending. You can turn it on here or the account tab. And we have to kind of look. I'm going to verify this in my own account later tonight to make sure that you're not enrolled automatically, because I didn't see anything that answered that question, whether or not you have to unenroll. Because like I said, in most platforms, you're already enrolled automatically, and they kind of just squeeze that in there into your terms of service, and then you have to go unenroll. So I'm not sure now. Everybody can check. I'm going to check to see if you're already enrolled and you have to kind of like unenroll or just sign like a waiver or something, because I'm not sure how this is going to be moving forward, because maybe since most of us have our Robinhood accounts, we have to enroll. But if you're opening up a new account, maybe going on from here forward, maybe you're automatically enrolled and it's going to be like status quo for like the other exchanges. So if you're seeing this video and you don't have a Robinhood account, make sure that if you're going to open one up, make sure that this is something that you check out first, right? Let's see. And then it says, how do I get paid through stock lending? So it says rebate rate is around 15% of the weighted average. And it says when we borrow shares of a particular stock from your account on a given day, you will earn whichever the following earns you more money, which is the rebate or the total position in the stock that was borrowed that day. And then this will be your share the Robinhood earned for that stock on that day. So 15% of the weighted average, which is very, very, very interesting, because they're telling you what you were earned 15%, and then there's a discrepancy here. Is it 15% of the other 100? 15% of, it's not clear on what Robinhood's rate is. Is Robinhood getting the other 85%? This is something that we would need more clarity on. I don't know. I may tag Robinhood to kind of explain this a little better. And then let's see. How are my loans are protected? This is a great question right here. So, and we're going to look at this discrepancy here because this is the biggest thing, right? That you'll say that, oh, well, your loans are protected, FDIC. This is why crypto is so risky and stuff like that. We're gonna find a discrepancy right here. So we all know about the $250,000 SIPC, $500,000 investment. If you have cash only, you get $250,000 of insurance. And technically that is your policy here. So that technically if whatever happens to your account, your loans, you're not at risk of going to zero, right? And this is very, very interesting. Is there a guarantee that your stocks will be loaned out? They'll say no, but trust me, they will find a borrower. It's basically it's literally for shorts, right? So it's not like a question of whether or not your stocks will get loaned out, because technically the only reason to loan out a stock is for shorts. So right here, you'll say financial institutions. This is the top one, and I wanted to go back to this one. Why do financial institutions want to borrow my stocks? Financial institutions and other market participants borrow stocks to facilitate trade settlements and short selling, which is why stocks with low market availability and high demand are more likely to be borrowed. And basically, if you don't know what a short is, it's basically when someone takes a negative position on a stock. It generates a sell order immediately, but they're a guaranteed buyer at some point in the future. So you're basically shorting, betting that the stock will go down from like its current price, and you get to collect the spread in the event that it does go down. So basically, shorting is the quickest way to generate something from nothing almost in the market, because technically you never bought into that asset. You just took a negative bet, a position against it, which they actually created a negative sell order immediately, basically, for that position at that time, even though you never actually bought the stock, which is very, very interesting here. And I want to find, let's see, I think this is, no, that's not it. Because I want to find something, because basically you have the risk of the capital gains. Hang on one sec. Okay. So matter of fact, right down here under the loans protected, it says your loan stock. So you have your cash and stuff like that. And in the unlikely event that Robinhood files for bankruptcy, the cash that you have is technically insured. It says, however, let's say in the loan stocks are not covered by SIPC insurance. So we use cash collateral to protect your loan stocks instead. This means that we hold cash equal to the value of your loan stocks at a third-party bank. This bank would pay the value of your loan securities in cash if Robinhood filed for bankruptcy and couldn't return your stocks to you. So basically, they're saying that you're probably not going to see this on their books, but they're going to hold "quote unquote" cash equivalent to the likelihood of the stocks that they're going to loan out, which they're not sure if they're going to find a borrower on. So to make sure that you get paid if they file for bankruptcy. And there's another, I want to find it. I hope, because I was looking at this before I went live, and it went over what happens in the event of Robinhood filing for bankruptcy. And it was something very similar to, I want to say it was almost like a Gemini type of situation. Let's see. I'm gonna have to do like an update on that one, but pretty much they were saying that in the event that they do file for bankruptcy, that the loan stocks may not be able to be returned to you. And this is something similar. They're saying that, okay, well, even though you have your actual position, the cash value, quote unquote, is going to be held at a third bank. And that's something you have to take into consideration here when you're short, when you are not directly being a shorter, but you're lending or you want to generate additional revenue. is you kind of have to take into effect, okay, what's the cash value of this stock? Because if Robinhood files for bankruptcy and there's a mass panic in the market and there's massive sell-offs on other exchanges, this is just for example, and they say, oh, well, we hold the cash value of your stock in a third-party bank. Okay, at what point? And this is a very serious question that people have to ask. Okay, at what point do I get paid? At what point are you going to determine the evaluation of my stock? Because if you file for bankruptcy and there's massive panic and there's a huge sell-off, do I get the current market evaluation, or do I get the market evaluation before you file for bankruptcy? Because you can contribute this exchange going defaulting, negative news and stuff like that, people panicking to sell to get off of the exchange, obviously because transfers and stuff take a while. You can contribute to my stock price falling. So at what point do I get paid? At what point does this insurance kick in? These are very important questions I think people have to ask when they're participating in this program. You guys know how I feel. Again, with like crypto and stuff like that, they don't have to be this transparent. Hopefully at some point we'll get some legislation and they don't have to be this transparent so that you can get an idea for how your crypto is being lent. But we know that basically staking, reward programs and stuff like that, it's basically the crypto version of these lending programs that we see with stocks. So this is why I recommend the things like Ledger and stuff like that, that you can remove your coins from the exchange so that you're not a part of this. And if you do stocks, most of you I know do stocks as well, I would highly recommend turning off of this program if you want to stay on Robinhood, or doing something even like a Moomoo, so that you're not even giving the information for payment for order flow and being front run by institutions and stuff like that who are pretty much waiting to see where the market movement is going and jumping in front of your orders and then shorting it and stuff like that as well. So it's a mass issue across the market. I do have, and the links in my description, they are affiliate links, Moomoo, Ledger and stuff like that, but they're authentic and you can get the actual devices and your actual accounts and stuff like that. But the bigger issue is that when you participate in these programs or on these platforms, you have to kind of take into account that it may, your own money has the potential to be used against you. And this brings up the whole question of synthetics. And if I'm lending out your stocks and then you tell me that I can still sell my stock at any time, then how is that stock, if I'm no longer in the position, or if that position was a positive buy order, so it's now neutral at best, how can that be used to create a negative position against my current order? And then if I sell that position, you still have this phantom short out there on this stock. If I transfer this position, are you actively buying additional stocks here to keep the balance status quo? And these are all questions that we've seen, or that we've revealed the answers to in a very negative way over the last couple of years. And we know that's not the case. Maybe they've changed how they do business now, not sure, but it's something to keep in mind when you're holding your coins and your stocks and stuff on these exchanges. I know a lot of people have Robinhood. A lot of people say that, oh, Robinhood's safer because of how big it is, or it's not just an exchange, it's a broker too. And all that is true. It's like an exchange and a broker, but they make money the same way. All of them make money, most of their money, I'll say, or at least a good portion of it, via volume. This is not a coincidence that we're in a recession, this bear market, volume has fallen. And now you're seeing all these, new lending programs, staking, bring your staking over here, or on the adverse side of it, when people are making runs and withdrawing their coins, you see halting on the trades altogether, stopping withdrawals, bankruptcy. It's just happening across the board. This is how important it is. So I think that if you get nothing else from this video, make sure that you're removing your coins and not participating in share lending, because at the end of the day, it makes, to me, in my opinion, it's stupid for me to be in a position to want a stock to go long on and lend it out for someone to go short against it. Right? In my opinion, that makes no sense. So I hope that provides like some clarity for you guys. Let me take a look here. I'm gonna take some questions. and then we will wrap it up. Let's see. Just shut off my lending stock on Robinhood because of this video. Excellent. Excellent. That is excellent news. I'm really glad that you did that, because that's really the purpose of this video. I'm really glad you did something like that. So I'm glad to be of service. I'm going to switch over. I just got a notification about my Wi-Fi. I have a couple of different ones. I'm going to, okay, never mind. Smash the like button. I appreciate you. David, can we see 10-cent Doge this year? It depends on like some of the catalysts that we have, but I think that the news that we're getting this week is going to be challenging, but I think that they're going to try and switch the sentiment around, because I don't like how the Fed is manipulating information right now. But at the end of the day, the macros, you can't hide the macros. They can lie by information in the short term, but you can't hide the macros. But we can possibly see, I believe Doge is like 10 cents, or at least without manipulation in the shorts and stuff like that. So I don't think that it's hard to get to 10 cents. It's just that we would have to have a big enough catalyst, or if we push shorts out and they move to another asset. So I don't think it's difficult. It's just that we're going to have some challenges here with the macros. This is the best channel around. Thank you. I appreciate you. Finally got my transfer started. Excellent. Finally got my coins off the exchange and got my average down with Doge. What do you suggest I do next? Just keep upping count. Awesome videos. Thank you. Yeah, coin count is going to be a multiplier. Can't go wrong with coin count. If you're long term, especially at these prices, coin count is excellent. We have time, right, to build up your coin counts to be your multiplier on the next cycle. So that is certainly what I would focus on if my average is not within the window of the current prices right now. Absolutely. I use Robinhood. David, I use Robinhood platform. Is there an option we can select to stop them from using our coin stocks against us? Yes, I'll possibly do a video on that. But yes, there is an option that you can turn off the lending program. You should have got an email today with this information, and they explain to you how to turn off or on the lending program. And I would just make sure that you're I would just make sure that it's not on. So I think it's worth at least a look to check to make sure that the lending program is not on. So I think it's at least worth a second look. And if you guys haven't yet, check the subscribe button in the channel. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and make a few announcements, and then I'll take a few questions. So first off, I want to thank everyone for 40,000 subscribers. I think that is amazing. And I'm really grateful for all of you. And so what I did was, for the 40,000, I know I don't advertise it on here because I was keeping the group small, but I do a small group via Patreon, and we meet every week and we go over macros and I go over my plays and stuff like that, what I'm interested in, how I'm looking at the market. And for $40,000 subscribers, I'm making that $4, that Patreon thing. And I'll post a link in the description section of this video, or I'll pin a comment for the 40,000 celebration. So if you guys want that, you can take advantage of that. And I'm also taking a poll in the community section that I'm doing for the macros of where my subscribers live. I'll be going to New York first. I'm going there anyway, but I'll do a meetup for those of you that live there. And I see a lot of you are in Texas and California and stuff like that. So on that poll section, the community section, if you can let me know if your option is not listed on something you can vote on, you can let me know in the comments, and I'll keep track of that. And that is what I'll use to make my decision on where to go next. And then, of course, we can meet up, have lunch or something like that. I'll do also a meet and greet, but I'll put together something. I'll announce it. It'll probably be different for each city depending on the amount of people, but I will get together with you guys, and we can have an in-person conversation. So those are the announcements for now, and I will take a few more questions. Let's see, why would anyone want to turn it on? It's additional revenue. People, it's the same reason I got a lot of pushback when I talked about the staking programs, because I typically cover these things maybe sometimes months in advance, sometimes a few weeks before, what hits the fan. And at that point, it's FUD or I'm pushing fear and stuff like that. And then they start snatching people's coins and stuff. And then we have a different outlook. But the biggest thing that even the pushback or why people would want to have it on is to generate revenue, because we have this thing that says that, oh, it's partially right saying that my money shouldn't be parked, or if you're going to use my money, I should use it to make money in a down market. I always want to be making money. And that is the right mindset to have. But how you make that money also plays a big part. And these exchanges here, they pitch it in such a way that it looks like it's to primarily benefit you. And that's not the case. When they send out these initial announcements, they'll say, oh, stock lending, generate revenue and stuff like that. But then you have to go through their emails and click on, 6 different tabs to find out what the real reason as to why they're doing it. Right. But, for the most part, people think that's just a way to generate extra revenue. And it is, but there's more to the story. So you have to keep that in mind. So David, can you make a detailed video on how to transfer crypto from Robinhood to a ledger step by step? If you already do, I didn't see it. Yeah, I haven't made one yet. I was going to, but I just didn't want to get into anything with like people like misusing the steps or losing their crypto or something like that. They did something wrong. But even though that's incredibly hard to do, I haven't seen any case. I will post some links that's actually from Ledger, so that they have videos and step-by-step guides so that you can actually have the official steps via Ledger. So I think that will help. For the love of money. Absolutely. Hey, David, can you make the market go up instead of down? I'll do my best. Oh, I missed it. Well, rewind. Yeah, I think, if you rewind this interview, this video, I think you'll find value. Absolutely. When is the government going to step in and stop illegal shorting for stocks, win for crypto? I don't know if they will. Maybe if enough of them go bankrupt, or if they have to do a lot of bailouts. But I don't think that I don't think a lot of them will, just because of it's. And I made a video on a short the other day, and when I was walking, I was explaining why we disrupted the system, how we disrupted the system. And I'll cover that here. What we're doing right now is not. It's a big deal, and we are forcing them to be defensive instead of just offensive. The deal was, in America, the primary status quo for investing was we go to work and we turn our money over to Wall Street and investors for 30 years. We get an average return of 10% or so, and they reap the rewards of that with programs and stuff like this. None of this stuff is new, but they reap the rewards of that. They, we go long basically all of our lives, and they short. That was the sentiment of the market. But now that's changing. Now you have 30, 40, 50 million people who are saying, no, we're going to invest for ourselves, and we don't like shorting. That's a huge problem for institutions. That's why you see that's why you see all of these short squeezes, these halts and freezes on removing the buy buttons. This is why you see the bankruptcies. This is why you see the stops on withdrawals and stuff like that. This is the primary reason behind all of this, is because we've changed the game here with how we invest, and the fact that we have things like technology, YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, and stuff like that, where we can all come together and compile information and say, some of us, are better than others, and we can, look at different things and just come out and talk about it and say, hey, this is what this means. And what it does is it organizes a movement where it changes the mindset on the market. And that's a big deal, because beforehand, you didn't have any of that. You just listened to your financial broker, and, depending on how much money you have, it wasn't really, that kind of conversation. He wasn't going to explain to you how the market worked. Like that's not the purpose of having a financial advisor. They're just going to kind of point you in a direction, buy the S&P 500, buy NASDAQ, dollar cost average in. And, if you're like, if that's my investment, why the hell do I need you? I can do that on my own. But, that's another part of technology and the market advancing forward. And I think that the issue here now is that because if they don't do something to make the market more fair or to tilt the benefits more so back toward the consumer, you're going to see a lot more volatility like this. You're going to see a lot more bankruptcies, a lot more halts, a lot more short squeezes and stuff like that. This is not going to be the end of it, especially over the last couple of years. So you're always going to have that pushback now that the retail sector has a much greater understanding of how the market works. The millennial, Gen Z and stuff like that, this is going to be from like the boomers and all that kind of stuff. Like us going into retirement is going to be a completely different story from what Wall Street has had to handle thus far. So I believe we're going to see some massive regulations and changes going forward, because when the boomers and the older generation, stuff like that, are out of the picture, and it's just like millennials, Gen Z, Gen X, stuff like that coming behind us, it is going to be a big change in how accounts, 401ks, retirements, those IRAs, and all that kind of stuff are ran. So expect some regulation coming soon. I'll say that much. Hey, Hannah, how are you? I said, David, do you think people should be made to hold Dogecoin for 6 months or more unless it's used as a transaction, since they want to be used as a currency? No, I still don't agree with that. No, at least not now. There is some pros to that, but just right now, I still have my sentiment as far as saying that I don't think it aligns with the original vision. Maybe if the community got together and did a vote on something like that, maybe, but I still don't think that aligns right now. Let's see. I hear that we need to put up magnets on our charts. This way, the market has no choice but to go up. It's so funny. I mean, maybe we can try that. Hey, David, is there any update about transferring our coins off of Robinhood in New York? I don't have anything as of yet. I do not. I am sorry about that. Buying 20,000 at 5 cents again. Absolutely. Hey, these are great prices. I am not upset about these prices at all. I'm good. Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. So I'll be pulling up. I say 10 cents. Yeah, it already did. Absolutely. Yeah. Fed pivot in November. Yeah. I don't know. It just, because I'm seeing the sentiment that they're releasing this information, and this is what I covered this this weekend on my Patreon. I think it's important to bring this up right here. Is the Fed is laying the foundation here to put themselves between a rock and a hard place, even more so. I've seen that they have said they're projecting another 0.75 basis point hike, and they're saying that this is going to be the last one. They're saying that they expect the next one to be 50, and before the end of the year, we're going to be down to 0.25. And I think that is very, very misleading for the market. And I know that they're doing it to not try and strike fear into the market, but I think it's extremely misleading. Because we have no evidence of a reversal in inflation or even a reversal in the markets. As a matter of fact, when we inverted our yield curve again, that is indicating the exact opposite. We've inverted at least 3 times this year already. And when you start coming out doing your little victory dance or your little victory, I don't know if it's ignorance or just lying blatantly. It's very misleading about the sentiment of the market, because you're coming out saying that, like, if you're speaking as if you've already won or inflation is defeated, like it's under control, and you have zero evidence of that. We're beating expectations right now, and then you put out a press statement and you say we already have plans to start winding down the rate hikes. That is, in my opinion, that's fear of rug pulling the market or sinking it even more quickly into a recession. And I'm seeing also some statements that it looks like they're trying to wiggle around the definition of what a recession is, because historically, 2 negative quarters is a recession, textbook definition. And it seems like now, like, because what I read like today, they were saying that, oh, well, it's not necessarily a recession. I'm like, what? And so I will be all ears this week to hear Powell speak, because it's very, they're tap dancing around some very important issues. And it seems like, I don't know if it's just ignorance or if they are blatantly trying to, out of fear, not trying to rug pull the market even more quickly. But again, you can do whatever you want. You can lie, you can bend the truth all you want, but you are not going to adjust the macros. And as consumers, you can't lie to us about what we're seeing or what we're feeling financially. So they can, tap dancing around it during their general meetings and not cause one that's directly said via their mouth, but the macros will always tell the truth. So and that's kind of like where I stand. So maybe there could be a pivot, but I doubt it based off of where we are now, because they can't keep saying that, yeah, we're going to wind down, and we're beating inflation we're beating expectations month over month. That there's no way for that. So we're going to see. Let's see. You have a great channel, David. Thanks for all you do. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Let's see. When does the hammer finally come down on the Fed for lying about everything? Yeah, I don't know if anything comes down on the Fed, but it is because the Fed knows about everything. It's not like this is new information. This is how things have always been. This is literally the status quo for the market. So I don't think that they're necessarily going to bring the hammer down or anything like that. But I think that they may change the rules going forward. But I don't think that they're going to bring the hammer down on the Feds or anything like that. I don't think they're going to bring the hammer down for like lying just so, because it's normal market procedure. Maybe they'll do something. Maybe they'll use a scapegoat, just depending on how bad things get. Especially if there's like rioting on the streets or people are losing retirements and stuff like that. If we get that bad, then you can see some public pressure. Then yeah, maybe they'll have that sacrificial lamb. But as of right now, I know this is pretty much status quo. So you can't. It'll be difficult to go after someone when you can easily prove this is how it's always been, and I was doing what was permitted, because there's massive loopholes in a lot of this stuff. So I think that we'll kind of have to wait and see on that. Let's see what happens to stock shares if Robinhood goes bankrupt. We covered that a little earlier in the video. It depends, but they're saying that they have insurance and a third-party bank, quote unquote, and it's insured up to $250,000. And my question was, at what point? Because if you go bankrupt and people are, if there's rumors of bankruptcy and people are selling to get off of your exchange, you can influence the price of the asset. So I was saying, my question is, at what point does insurance kick in? Is it on the date that you file for bankruptcy? Is on the date that prior to your announcement of bankruptcy? Is it before the run, or is it after? Like, at what point do we get paid? Or is it just because you have to say, okay, most people don't have $250,000 in their account. So, what is my time frame to get paid out? It's not like I'm going to max out anyway. So if I have, $40,000 and the news of you going bankrupt causes panic and fear, and my 40,000 turns into 20, at what point does the insurance kick in? Or at what point do I get my evaluation? I think that's an important question. So, it's just how I think. So, but we'll see. We'll see. Agreed. No hype, no fluff, all DD. Great channel, David. You're on my top list of channels. I appreciate you. Thank you. Robinhood ain't going bankrupt. I don't think that they will go bankrupt, but the odds can be low, but they're never zero. So we'll see. And at the same time, my biggest issue with a lot of these exchanges, brokers, etc., is we don't know to the extent at which they're over leveraged. We don't find out until they're stopping trading and stuff like that. Because, we ran out of money. Something like the GameStop situation, AMC situation, stuff like that. Oh, we ran out of money. We didn't have all the shares and stuff that we said we couldn't deliver those shares that we technically already had sold. And so it's it's very, 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 very interesting at that point. So we can see going forward, but I do think that they have a large market monopoly. So I do think it's unlikely but it doesn't. I don't believe the odds are zero. So how does Moo make money? There's a lot of ways you can make Moo makes money. They don't do payment for order flow, which is I think is a huge plus. They do the transactional values as far as foreign transactions. They do that. You are able to lend on there as well. You're able to have margin accounts on there. It's lots of ways that they can make money. It's not, um, they're not charging a fee per like a flat rate per transaction, but they do make money. Most of their money transactional, just as most exchanges. They just don't route it directly to um, institutions. So you're not going toward a Citadel or like a Melvin or something like that, where you're sending your orders to a market maker. So that's the biggest plus of Moomoo, in my opinion. Let's see. We ran out of money translations. We lied about how much we had going for the deal, and we're going to act like it's a surprise that we don't have enough dough instead of how we planned it actually is. No, that's pretty much. And this is one of the things, because if you're not familiar with reading terms of service and stuff like that, you'll say that, oh, they have it's insurance, or they have separate accounts for the funds. That's normal. Like they're supposed to have that, right? And this isn't something new. But the question is, sometimes they over leverage these positions. They'll start shorting massively, especially revenues down, and you got these multi-billion-dollar institutions saying, hey, we need some stocks to borrow. We want to short this. And you're like, wow, we can really use the money, even though we don't, quote unquote, have all the assets here, all the money here. Are they going to say no? And these are issues that we ran into before. So it's very, very, very interesting, as I like to say. Let's see. Hey, David, I have Exodus wallet and it has a stake option. Does that mean I can still lose my coins if they are staked? I have to look into Exodus to kind of explore that a little more. But I know most staking programs are lending programs. I don't think that there's a reason for anyone to offer staking and pay you extra if they're not going to use it to make more money. So I'll say that I'm almost certain there's extra risk there, but I'm not, because I'm unfamiliar with the program. I'll have to verify that. So I don't want to say that and it not be true, but it's very likely. It's certainly very likely. You're not alive? Wait, what do you mean by that? Do you think Dogecoin will go back to 25 cents? I do. Let's see. Do you prefer proof of work or state cryptos? Been hearing Ethereum has had a proof of stake with smart contracts. Yeah. The proof of stake is. I think Ethereum, it has a really, really bright future, and I think it really just depends on the coin and its functions. I don't think necessarily believe that it's a one size fit all, because I do believe these coins are going to settle into different like niches and stuff in the market. They have different functions and what they're used for. So I don't think it's a one superior to the other. I think it just depends on what the coin's going to actually be used for. But I do think this is a great move for Ethereum, and I think that Ethereum has a really, really bright future. Market of wealthy liars in a house of cards. The average person is doomed to catch after the fall. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I make these videos, so that we can kind of stay on top of things, get that information out there, and people are informed, right? So, they have an opportunity here to make their decisions beforehand. Let's see, wasn't Ethereum and Doge supposed to merge? Yeah, they have like some merger coming up. I'm not sure how it's going to work as far as like with the new program, but from what I heard, nothing has changed. It may just be a little slow. I haven't heard anything that, to my knowledge, that it wasn't happening. I'm not supposed to be some type of bridge. I necessarily wouldn't say it's like a complete merge together, but it's like a bridge between the two coins. I'm going to change your mind about making people hold Dogecoin for 6 months. It just makes sense. I understand. No, I understand. I do understand the benefits of that. I just don't know if you're going to say it's going to be like a currency and we're fighting for utility. I just don't know if that makes sense in that aspect. But I understand as far as the price wise, I understand how that could help. But as far as for having the option to use it for utility or for tipping or what the case may be, that can hinder it greatly if everybody's on a 6-month hold. But I understand what you're saying, though, at least initially that first 6 months. Let's see. I don't feel anything. Okay, let's. I don't know if that's related to the stocks or anything or the video, but I hope nothing's like weird or crazy is going on. I hope you're all right. It's 0.02 coming in. Yeah, we're gonna have to watch this Fed meeting. I think things are gonna be interesting. So we'll have certainly an interesting week. And literally yesterday, as I was making my video on the wedge and the apex, and I was saying that okay, we're gonna have a breakout relatively soon, like expecting it this week, like no more than like 2 days. It literally broke down out of the wedge, like right as my video was airing live. So it was crazy. But I'll keep charting. I'll keep if I see something crazy, I'll call it out as normal. I'll keep charting, and you guys can utilize that to make entries and stuff like that if you want, or just consider it. I'll do what I've been doing and just kind of share with you guys. So hopefully it can give you some additional information to make decisions. So do you think it's safe buying crypto through Ledger, Nano with MoonPay, Quantify if it's still available? Yeah, I don't have an issue with Ledger and Ledger Live because technically that's what those MoonPay, that's what those programs are listed under Ledger Live. But I think that as long as you are uploading them to the Ledger and they're protected by your seed phrase, I think that you're great. You're in a good position. So. As long as you are, buying your coins, transfer. I really don't have an issue with personal. I have an issue with where you buy them. Even if you bought them on Robinhood or whatever, as long as you have the ability to transfer them and you're not leaving them on the exchange, I think that it's okay. Let's see, brother, my soul is being killed here. They didn't even give me my crypto wallet yet for New York, and it seems like they're trying to really kill the Doge top. How is the future looking for us? Yeah, New York it's a hurdle. It's really an issue here. I know that, and ironically, the vast majority of my followers are in New York, and I think that it's getting around that or getting wallets and stuff like that to get out of, or at least have more options with the coin. That's going to be a big issue. I don't have any solutions yet to be able to remove coins or to protect your coins from New York. But I think that I'm gonna have to do some research. I don't know, because if you I need to find out if people in New York, if you buy a ledger and you buy it directly through Ledger or Ledger Live, is that an issue in New York or something like that? It shouldn't be. I don't think it is. If you know the answer to that, if anyone's in New York, I'll do a poll if I don't get an answer on here. But as far as for the coins that you've already purchased, I do not have a solution to move them to off of the exchanges right now. But if you are able to get something like a ledger and kind of make sure those coins will go directly to the ledger versus transferring it into a wallet or something like that, I would highly encourage that, and just kind of keep track of what you have on your ledger device and what you have in your accounts, something like a Robinhood, and just kind of keep track of your DCA and use that to kind of bring your average down so that you can kind of know what position you're in and use that to execute and get out of that position on the next run. So that for example, your coins on the ledger, you can say, okay, well, I'm going to build this up or whatever. This is going to be my long term. And because I'm restricted on Robinhood, the next run, these are the coins, or I'm going to, not just Robinhood, I don't want to seem like I'm picking on Robinhood, but because I'm restricted over here, these are the coins I'm going to get rid of first, or take profit on, or whatever your plan is. These are the coins I'm going to get rid of first so that I can have more options with my my ledger. But as of right now, I do not, unfortunately, have a solution to remove coins from these exchanges for New York. So I believe one day in the future we won't have anything but a wristwatch, and we'll carry everything from your ID to medical insurance, money extension, blockchain here forever. Yeah, blockchain is definitely not going anywhere, and I do believe that this will get more simple as time goes on. Good question. Do we have a date on the space launch? We had I'll have to double check because I know those are changing, but from what I hear, it's still on, and I want to say it's like October, November. Last I heard. I'll have to double check that. Don't quote me on that. Let's see. Please explain high margin rates on Moo. Yeah, when it comes down to margin, that's a matter of fact, it's a great thing. When it comes down to margin on the accounts, because you can technically you can have a cash account, you can have margin accounts, and some accounts only do margin, like on Moo, and that's pretty much if you are over leveraged in a trade or something like that, you can potentially go ahead and have that order executed or get extended in a line of credit. It's kind of like because even on Robinhood, because I know technically if you have instant deposits, that's technically a form of margin, even though your payment hasn't cleared yet, and that's how people end up owing the company. But yeah, the rates and stuff like that can vary greatly, and technically margin across the board right now, because money is getting more expensive and stuff like that, you're going to see margin get more expensive because now technically you're borrowing assets, something that's really liquid, akin to something like cash because of how liquid and how quickly you can get in and out of stocks. You're going to see margin rates increase dramatically, probably even more from here. So in my opinion, I do not recommend using margin, but again, not financial advice. Do what you want. I personally, I'm not using margin right now. I don't normally use margin. Most of my accounts are cash, and I stay within my means for these reasons. But yeah, margin rates are going to probably even increase from here, especially as inflation goes and as money gets more expensive to borrow. It's going to spike something like similar to what you're doing with mortgage rates. So I would be very careful with how you're playing with margin right now. No one should be forced to hold their crypto any amount of time. I agree. I agree. Is it taxable when you move coins from Robinhood? Only when you sell. Let's see. Lending income program. Do you know if this is in by default by other stockbrokers, TD Ameritrade? They don't sell coin. Thank you for bringing to our attention to Robinhood. Wow, I'm very anti short selling. I agree. It depends. I'm not familiar with all of the programs, but I do know that a lot of exchanges are automatic, like you said, by default. You're automatically enrolled in the stock program. So, and Robinhood may do something like this going forward. For most of us, we already have the Robinhood account. So now they have this applies to us because they're saying, hey, we're updating it, and if you want, you have to enroll in the program. But for people who are opening accounts from here on out, they may be automatically enrolled, something similar to what we see in other stock accounts, right? So it's a very important question, and this is why even if you see this video after this point, or if you already have an account, I would double check. Like, it does not hurt. Just make sure that your coins are not being lent out. And trust me, unless you have a lot of money, you're going to get pennies for them lending your crypto out. So I'm just letting you know, because I've had to turn off share lending several times in the last few years because of plays that I was in. And unless you have, like millions of dollars, you're going to get pennies for them lending your stocks out. So it is not worth it financially. So I know some people are saying, "Oh, I want to make money, and my money's going to make money." You're going to make pennies. So they're going to make money. How long do you think this bear market will last? And I heard Dogecoin is connected to Litecoin in some way. Is this true? The blockchains have like some cross reference, but the bear market, I think the average is between like 2 or 3 years, and I think that we were overdue. And the fact that we printed so much money, we're not going to see a quick bounce back. I know that we have a lot of new investors in the market, and they've actually never experienced a true bear market. The last bear market we had was the shortest one in history because they came out and they started printing money because COVID and stuff like that. If our the this history wise says that we should have, I say at least another year to kind of fit on the average, maybe even 6 months or so. But it really just depends on this inflation. That's what's going to determine the bear market and the kind of the fear that's going on in the space here. So, if you look at something like crypto, if you look at, and this is just kind of, you can kind of cross-reference the two markets here. If you look at something like crypto and Bitcoin being your market indicator, you'll say, okay, how long does Bitcoin take to bottom out historically from its all-time high? And that's about 11 to 13 months. So where does that put us for like the bottom out of crypto? That puts us at around November of this year, October, November of this year. That is historically, that is where you get that range, that absolute bottom in time wise for Bitcoin. And then you say, okay, what is based off of the averages again? You'll say, okay, when is the opportunity here for the next bull run? When does that happen? For stocks and stuff like that, that's going to be as soon as we get evidence of, not necessarily soon, but as soon as we get evidence of a reversal here in inflation and some of the macros here, gas and stuff like that, you'll see institutions and stuff like that get more bullish, and you'll see the tide in the market start turning around. Crypto, you'll see historically the average will put us at around another year from like November, so around late 2023. And Bitcoin historically for crypto, I'm using it is because it's the market indicator, and that's where most of the money goes and the institutional money goes. It likes to run in December. So if you look at like the last 2 or 3 cycles, when you start getting that curve to acceleration for the crypto market, or even just in Bitcoin, that almost always happens in December, like mid-December, like the week before Christmas. You'll start seeing that little change in trajectory for Bitcoin. You start having that massive acceleration, and then January, February, it's boom time. But these are just, I'm not saying this is 100% going to happen. These are just the historical averages and time frames that these markets play out. So I know that was a little long-winded answer, but I hope that provides some value for you. How's a mug going to cost $445 one day? I hope not. Jesus. I hope not. Honestly speaking, if 5% of YouTubers are doing this kind of analysis, people will save a lot of money and understand the market. I can't thank you enough, David, for real. No, this is my pleasure. This is what I would do regardless of if I had a channel or not. And these are types of channels. I only make stuff that I would want to watch, right? And I like more depth compared to hype. Like I know videos. If I'd have made a video and said $50, Dogecoin, or $100,000 Bitcoin, 2022. Here's why. I would have 500 people in here right now, and I would be getting a lot more clicks and stuff. But it's BS, and I don't like promoting, selling hype and stuff like that I don't actually believe in. So this is my. This is like when I get on here, this is like my truth. And when I like to say things, I like to have concrete reason, evidence, historics behind why I said these things, why I feel this way. So that's why but I'm really grateful that you find the value and you appreciate it. Out of all the exchanges, which one has the less chance of going bankrupt in your opinion? Excellent question. If I had to pick, and I'm assuming you're talking about crypto exchanges and not just brokerages, but if I had to pick, I would say Binance, FTX, stuff like that. Those two are going to be your titans, right? Those are going to be your Avengers of the crypto market. Those, and especially FTX. FTX is being very, very smart with their handing out loan money. They're basically being like the Federal Reserve right now. They're swinging by, and they're making it rain, handing out money. Oh, you need some bailout money? No problem. You need some bailout money? No problem. Very strategic business plan, because what they're doing is putting themselves in a position to increase market share, to be a Citadel or to be a BlackRock almost of crypto. Very strategic. So what happens is when you have these companies, and if FTX is in a position where every exchange owes them money, who has control of the market, right? And then worst case scenario, you go bankrupt anyway, and now they just simply take over. I have to look at the agreement or the terms of those loans that they hand out. But you default on that loan, I'm pretty sure they can just take over a percentage of your business or all of it. And who does that benefit? That benefits FTX. That's a long play, man. And there's nothing abnormal about that. I made a video. I was talking about the consolidation of crypto, and when you have historically, you'll see that all of these after the boom in Dogecoin, you'll see that cryptocurrencies, all these new cryptos started popping up everywhere. It was like thousands just popping up every day. The next Dogecoin, big boom, big run to the moon, all that kind of stuff, right? And then we had these exchanges popping up everywhere. There's no regulation. These are people that, a lot of them, they couldn't make it in the tech industry. They couldn't make it in the banking industry. The crypto market has a lot less barrier to entry, right? You put some capital together, boom, you got an exchange, and you have these people here who are, literally just trying to, just make money, redeem themselves, stuff like that. And, they're going to, put themselves in situations where they may have to be resolved at some point. So I think that when we, take into totality of that, you're going to have a consolidation of a lot of these cryptos exchanges, and they're not going to be around 2-3 years from now. And you'll have something where, like in the stock market, where all of the orders go through like 2 exchanges. And I think we'll see something similar in the crypto market. A lot of these crypto markets are not going to exist anymore. And you're going to see that consolidation, and you're going to have those huge market makers in the crypto field. And it'll probably be FTX or Binance, just capital wise. I don't think that, I'm not saying that they're safe. I don't ever want to say that exchange is safe because they all make money the same way. So there's risk there, and they're all trying to, make as much money as possible. But as far as for likelihood of going bankrupt, I'd say that those two are very, very the least likely to get screwed or go bankrupt right now. So, and when regulation happens and stuff like that, they're going to SEC and all that kind of stuff. They're going to look to who has the most money first. These are going to be, when they want to start fining people for BS and stuff like that, they're not going to go to the cryptocurrency exchange that's in bankruptcy or barely making it and stuff like that. No, they're going to go to the ones that's extremely liquid, that's doing international transactions and stuff like that, i.e. Binance, and those are going to be the ones that they go after. So those two, I say, are the least likely of going bankrupt. Let's see. Angel, thank you. I appreciate you. Am I buying the Snapchat dip? I'm not. I'm focusing more right now. I have my basket of like recession stocks that I'm buying, and I hope that they go even lower. That's going to be, like the Titans. I like I like the Google split. I like the Amazon split. I like Apple, Microsoft, obviously. When I'm able to get something, what I would consider, and I hate using this word, I don't want to say guaranteed win, but when I consider something that's like a home run, just economics, like almost, I won't say zero chance of shorting it down, but it would be, there's not enough money on the planet to short like Apple to like zero, something like that. These are the companies that I love picking up in like a bear market where I can, I don't have to think about that money or worry about, what's it going to be in 5 years. I know it's going to appreciate. So those are the types of things that I'm looking for right now. Do you think FTX will buy out Voyager? I heard they rejected their offer. They said they could do better, from what I read. And we'll see. I hope they're right, but we'll see. Because, you start rejecting offers and then you have to come crawling back. Normally those conditions have changed. So, and not to your favor. So I hope they know what they're talking about. Let's see. The Hose 113. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. So I'm just scrolling back because I got a little long-winded and now my comments are a little behind. I said Robinhood sucks. She's so funny. Let's see. Yeah, I got Doge and Sheep on there. I want to get off eventually. I'll check out Beta out though. Okay, this is a side conversation, not directly toward me. Okay. I got my Ledger Nano X going to start taking my crypto off Robinhood tomorrow. Excellent. Excellent. What's up? How are you? How are you? So I plan to eventually over time, take all my crypto off of Webull unless they make wallets. Church, I don't see it happening. Yeah, you're going to have to be very careful about exchanges that don't offer wallets right now because they see what's happening and it's very unlikely that they're going to roll out a wallet in this kind of market. So because they know what would happen, especially when the tone is move your coins off of the exchange, rolling out a wallet right now will almost be like a shot to the foot in a company that's holding on to like their liquidity and stuff. I'm not saying that they're at risk of going bankrupt, or losing a lot of money, but it would be unwise financially for them to roll out a wallet right now, knowing that that's the sentiment because they know most of the people they're going to take off as soon as they get that option. So I don't see that happening right now either. David, briefly, can you tell us where you see Doge in 3 to 5 years? 3 to 5 years will be what, second, third bull run. Hopefully, we'll have massive utility, and even at that rate, we'll be like maxed out coin count wise amongst the people, especially once mass adoption. So at that point, I would love to see us at several dollars, like because there's not currency wise, there's not a lot of Dogecoin. Speculation wise, there's a lot of Dogecoin, but and speculation meaning that the people just buying Doge to flip it to turn a profit. If that's the case, there's a lot of Dogecoin. But currency wise, Dogecoin having utility and being used for purchases, there's not a lot of Dogecoin. And I say not even enough to make that happen. This is why I made that video saying there's no more Dogecoin left, because if you do the math, just with the holders, even right now with the amount of wallets, I think it's like $1,700 a wallet. If that became the average, there'd be zero Dogecoin to buy. So utility-wise, we can see dramatic price increases that come along with utility and adaption because of that almost put Dogecoin almost at a scarcity availability. So that can be very, very good for price action. So 3 to 5 years utility, having that usage of case across the board, Doge several dollars easily. And I'm not saying like several, like 10, 50, I don't want to put that out there, but just multiples of $1. I'll say that because there's obviously some other factors in there, but I think that with utility and adaption, we can see the people that bought, I'll say this, the people that are buying right now will be very happy. I'll say that. How far do you think Doge will dip? Right now, I think that we're very strong at around that 5-6 cent range. I think that we're extremely strong. If we start going to double-digit inflation and stuff like that, which I believe we're already there, but if we keep missing the mark like this entire year, and I think that we'll see some pressure on those resistance levels because we have to keep like the net worth aspect between like the average Dogecoin holder, like the average like Bitcoin holder. That's a big difference. And you may see some people who will start liquidating those positions. But on the flip side of that, the amount of people that will take advantage of those prices will go up. I know that at a penny, we'll see some massive, massive resistance there. And kind of like when we've seen Dogecoin hit 5 cents, we've seen massive buying pressure and stuff like that was able to push back. And it was almost like a flash crash, the amount of buy orders that came in. I'll do some checking tomorrow with Bookmap, and I'll see like what the pools of liquidity are looking like. But I imagine that for right now, we're fine at the 5 to 6. But anything like around 1 to 3, I think we'll have massive pushback on the actual prices and stuff. So, but right now, I think that we're good. But so I'll say, if on the extreme side, like extreme recession or something like that, maybe 1 to 3, but I doubt it. Where the market sentiment would have to change dramatically from where we are now, just based off of what happened the last time we touched 5 cents. It said 5 million Doge times several dollars. Yeah, you'll be happy. I bet. I bet you will be. No doubt about that. See, Salvador, thank you. Thanks for educating us to remove our coins from the exchanges. No problem. No problem. It's been my pleasure. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys on Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, all of you guys for reaching out and letting me know that you have taken action. That has been it's been truly a blessing, and I'm really glad that you guys are appreciating the information and the research that I put into the videos. I know I haven't said this. I've been on for like an hour. I haven't said anything, but certainly as I did hit 40,000, so my next goal is going to be 50. If you haven't, or if you found value in this video, consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, as we continue to educate the community and provide an experience here. Let's see. Will Gemini exchange reliable? No, Gemini is I won't say a terrible exchange, but I would not. Gemini is one of the main culprits of what happens when staking program and stuff like that. I made an entire tweet and even a video about Gemini. Well, just going over the terms of service in Gemini service. They are very blunt about what happens if in the event that they go bankrupt or there's extreme risk and them taking your coins and stuff like that. They are very direct with what happens. So. I think that I would not trust Gemini right now. That was one of my least favorite exchanges, actually. Let's see. I think we'll see BTC retrace to 50K range and big alt season before the real bear market next 1 to 6 months. That'd be interesting. If we get that push back to 50K, that'll be really, really interesting. So, really interesting. Let's get likes to 100. I don't know how many likes I have now. You said 95? Okay. Yeah, so 5 likes away from 100. There we go. Low key, kind of hoping it hits 3 cents. I'll drop the bank. Thank you for Ledger. I successfully moved all of my Doge. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, no, I said this one time and I got so much hate. They're like, oh, people are losing. And I get it. That was selfishly speaking. I'll say this. And this is what I said in the video. I said that I hope Doge goes to a penny. And, and that's not, and I'm not saying that I hope people lose money or that I like seeing people in the red and stuff like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just for buying purposes, I hope Doge goes to a penny. Hell, I want Bitcoin to go to $20. Like, that's not, I'm not saying that I want it to crash and stay there. I'm just saying this for accumulation purposes. Matter of fact, I want Bitcoin at $20. I want Doge at a penny, Ethereum at $2.50. I'll be happy with any of those prices. And at that point, you call it FUD or whatever. I don't care. That is not me being negative. That is just from an accumulation standpoint. I probably wouldn't even make a video that day because I would have sold my laptop to make an entry. So I probably have to speak to you guys from like the public library or something. I'll go live from the library and make my videos from there because I'm dropping the bank would be an understatement. So that is not me being negative. Let's see. Funny, I did get an email today from Robinhood talking about stock lending. Yeah. No, that's the reason I covered the video. That's the reason I covered the video. See, since you hit 40,000, you can now go 2 hours. I don't know if I'll go. I don't know if I'll go 2 hours. I'm actually probably going to wrap it up soon because most people, it's fun to watch live, but most people are not going to sit down and watch an hour video. I don't know. It just depends. But maybe when I start doing like some interviews and stuff like that, they will. But right now, I try to not turn my videos into movies. But I believe I provide value all the way through. So I guess it just depends on your level of depth that you want. Sell my laptop. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going in. 117 watching and 15 likes. Come on, guys. Likes is free. It makes the channel go viral and the algorithm push it up. Smash the like button. Absolutely. Absolutely. But we probably won't see those prices again. You probably won't. You probably won't. I don't think that we will see these prices again on the next bull run. I do believe that. I do believe that. It says, hell, I will listen to you all night. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right, I'll do one more. Let's see. What do you think that will be this week's outcome? It depends. It looks like the Fed's playing funny money or funny information, misleading information. But I do think that they're going to announce that we're in a recession. I do think that they're going to do. Right now, it looks like we're going to do like 0.75 basis point hike. I think that's been anticipated and somewhat priced in right now. So I don't think it's going to like shock the market. But I do believe that it's just a sign of the times as far as for where we are, because I don't believe that we may necessarily see a big drop in inflation rate and stuff like that by our next CPI numbers. So I don't think that it's going to like rug pull the market, but I think that it's just what to kind of see. I think the biggest thing will be just kind of evaluating what he actually says to see what the outcome is. Because I want him to justify this victory lap he's doing, saying, "Oh, we're going to wind down the interest rates because basically we've won and we beat inflation." I'm like, what indicator are you looking at that you're not sharing with us that says that you're ahead of the curve? Because mine says you've been missing it. You've been swinging and missing for like the last year. But hopefully maybe he'll explain that. I'd love to hear it. But right now I don't think that we're going to see like a bullish breakout or something this month unless he just comes out and blatantly lies and says that if we've overcame and to the moon or something like that based off of some secret data points he's looking at. I don't see anything spectacular happening in that aspect. So if it goes to a penny, will you buy it? Will I? Will I buy at a penny? I will certainly. I'll probably be. I'll say at that point I'll officially be like I don't know what's bigger than a whale, but I don't know, like a megalodon or something. I don't know. I'll be something. I'll be something huge. That's what I'll be if it hits a penny. I'll say that. Let's see. I don't believe Dogecoin will ever hit 1 penny ever again. It's my wishful thinking. I hope it does. Selfishly, that's just my opinion here. I'm not ashamed of it. I hope it hits a penny. I want Bitcoin at $20, and I'm not ashamed of that. So, but that's just my dream, right? So, it's always my wishful thinking. So we'll see if that actually happens. So let me post this as well. And I really appreciate you guys staying on with me because I know that it is abnormal of me to go this long on a live. It's very abnormal of me. I typically don't. But I appreciate you guys, and it means that to a degree, at least, you guys are finding value, right? So I'm very grateful for that, at least, because that's my goal here, to provide you guys with value, make sure that you are, we're all learning together and improving. It's a growing process. Let me find this link here. And I want to say, because I mentioned this earlier in the video, that as a thank you because I usually do meetings on Sundays and stuff like that in a group, and we have like a Discord, and I go over macros, my current thoughts on the market, my plays and stuff that I'm in. We have like plays and stuff we do together. And in celebration of 40,000 subscribers for this month, making that group $4. So if you guys are interested, before I get out, I will post that here. And you'll see the link where you can get it for $4 in the description. That's why I'm going to do, if you look at the, after I close out this video, I'm going to put a pin and I'm going to say the first 3 people to comment will get a t-shirt, and I'll mail you a disruption t-shirt. It's going to say disruption is what you see on my banner and what you see across the channel. I'll mail that to you and that'll be free of charge. So after I let you know that you've won, just send me an email to nofluff2021 at Gmail. It's in the about section, and you'll have, and I'll have it sent out to you. Let's see. I agree with you, and whatever it's worth, I believe you're one of the best commentaries for cryptocurrency. Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you. See, I currently have over 2 million Dogecoin. If it goes to a penny, I'm in for a few more million. That's my mindset right there. That is my mindset right there. Does Binance still owe Dogecoin? No, from what I heard, they purchased the Dogecoin, that 400 million, I believe a week or so after we discovered that discrepancy. So I don't believe that they still owe the Dogecoin. So I believe they've covered that out. So I have the link there for, I'm going to close out. I have the link. That's the link to get the $4. You'll see $4, $40,000 subscriber celebration. And I'll send you the links to join the Discord, and we'll get the links and we'll talk every Sunday. So I appreciate you guys. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. I thank you guys for tuning in with me and staying on for like the last 1 hour and a half. And I will see you guys tomorrow for my morning discussion. So I'll be posting my shorts most mornings, and I'll do like a commentary for like my thoughts of like the day and stuff like that, so you guys can tune in. I saw that you guys appreciate that. So I do that stuff anyway. It's my, it's literally my thoughts. So I will share them as long as you're interested. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning for that video, and hopefully again tomorrow night. So with that, I'm going to close out. Thank you guys, and have a good night.